Hello and welcome back to another CCLP4 video, everyone. It's been, well, actually I'm starting to record immediately after the previous recording, so I'm trying to stay ahead of the game again, because I've been slacking off, I admit, with recording. It's not really due to anything, it's just I've been playing other games and such, which is pretty normal, I guess. A lot of games I love have come out in pretty steady paces the past couple months, and it's been catching my attention aside from this game. So I apologize for that, but I don't really apologize for that because I like other games besides Chip's Challenge. And there's another Discord message. So this is Overlap, which I really wish was in CCLP1, but honestly, like combinations, this one feels better being in CCLP4. Just because it's another one of those levels that's just it's mostly a puzzle, but it has some degree of item swapping. But this was on my, I think, my secret level list for CCLP1 levels. I think it was like 145. Yeah, I don't know why I wanted it to be 145 back then. But I think that's all you really can do with the skates. So now I can go ahead and get these. And I know the solution to this level. I already have the bolt time for this level, even though it's an untimed level. Yeah, I already have the time for this level. Yeah, it's a pretty fun level to play. It actually took me quite a while to solve this in my first try, upon it being designed, which was quite some time ago. And I love the aesthetics of the clone machines and the bombs and the walls. It's just a nice contrast. And the blue key isn't necessary. It probably would have been cool if you could use it, but I think I like it better that you don't need it. Like, it's part of the puzzle that you don't even need, which I think is cool. It adds more of a trip to the level. And that was Overlap by Rock again. And I think this is his last level of CCLP4, which is unfortunate, but for not designing, well, he designed some new things, but for a level that was fairly overlooked in CCLP1, I feel, this did very well in voting. This was, I think, one of the highest rated levels in the voting. I think like in 30th or 50th place or somewhere around there. Again, I don't remember. That's just a guess. But really fun level. They're not called blocks for nothing. I think that's the longest level title in this whole set. So this level is pretty noisy, but I'm gonna try to ignore it. So this level is pretty interesting. This type of concept isn't really common, and I don't know, it's very interesting how this level works, and for that reason it got into the set. That being said, it wasn't one of the highest rated levels, sadly, but we felt it was interesting and unique enough and provided a difference in gameplay to include it in the set. That being a pretty unique way of using blocks. Because while they really aren't called blocks for nothing, they have so many different purposes. It's ridiculous, and they have even more purposes in CC2. This is also the second Eric level in the set. I think it... Did it do better? I know In Strange for a Season did a lot better than this level, but I don't remember the exact rating for this level. Alright, you can use these. This is probably the annoying part of the level. So I can go ahead and do this. Have a pretty long block loop, but that's alright. This got a time limit increase, but I think this level probably could have used a little bit more time. But I think 500 is just barely... is just enough. Alright, so I can go through here. So the little twist to this level is you actually have to use a block from this part of the level in the top section. So you can block off that cloner and then use a clone block from up here, which I think I already have one. I do. To get these chips. So now I can use another block to get the rest of them. And I actually had to do the same thing on this side too. I might get a slight improvement on this level, but I don't think so. Or 2 seconds, that works too. So that's by Eric, and I think there's an MSCC bust in this level that James found that you can use a mouse click to get to the exit, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of this little twist at the end of the level, but oh well. I'm not sure if that actually works or not, but that's just what I've heard. Alright, Greenie in Motion. So this level is really interesting. It's one of my levels, and it was the highest rated blob level in voting. This actually did a lot better than I expected it to do. It was in the top 149. I don't know if that's a first for blob levels in voting or official set voting, but this was 124th place if I remember right. I don't know why I can't remember ratings for the other levels, but I can remember it for this one. Probably because it's one of my levels, and a level I actually really enjoy playing. Yeah, this level, it did a lot better than I expected it to, and I'm really thankful for that. Like, people actually saw that it's a pretty good use of blobs. Maybe, I don't know. So there's kind of a little unintended callback to this level in that it's level 117, which was also the blob level of CCLP1. That's just how the level order went, according to Jeffrey, and I thought it was kind of cool to have a callback like that. And I'm glad I didn't infest all these hallways with blobs. Also, apparently this level has a Melinda time of 270. not really sorry for that, but good luck. And I got another improvement, not by much, but I'll take it. That was by me, Greenian Motion, which is obviously a reference to Brownian Motion, which I got this title from the title bank from Ryan. So thanks, Ryan, for the title. That's honestly what inspired this level as a whole. So if it wasn't for you, this level wouldn't even be existed, or wouldn't have existed. Well, that and me looking up what Brownian Motion was, which makes sense. Alright, chip controls. So this level is interesting. This was kind of a last-minute choice for us as the staff. Mainly because after we had our obvious picks for the set, we started picking underrepresented ones and such, and we kind of lacked a monster manipulation level, and this fit. Okay, let's see if I can actually beat this. Okay. So, yeah, I'm honestly not that big of a fan of this level, but it has warmed up to me, I have to say. Usually levels don't do that to me, but it's not a bad level on principle. It really isn't. It's another one of those single monster manipulation levels, so it's obviously it's not going to be one of my favorite levels in the set, but it doesn't take up the whole map, and there's some pretty clever uses, or pretty clever manipulation skills involved with this level, so I can respect it. Unlike One Tank's Avenger. Well, I can respect One Tank's Avenger. I don't hate that level, it's just my least favorite. But this level I can definitely respect, so good job, Marcus. You made a pretty good level, and not you, but Jeffrey convinced all of us to include this in the set. So, yeah. Alright, Strand Quest. I think that's how you say the title, Strand Quest. This is another level I made, and it did exceptionally well on voting. It was, I think, in the top 50, if I remember right. And it was mainly included for, well, to put it simply, I think it was between this and Ragged Mountain at the end of the day. I think it was down to that. I remember there being a, not argument, but I remember there being a debate on which one to include. It was between this and Ragged Mountain at the end. But it ultimately came down to like unique concepts or in gameplay. In this level in Ragged Mountain, for the most part, they have the same gameplay. I mean, they're both campaignish type levels. They're both linear. They're both have a gravel aesthetic. So it honestly boiled down to like the really minor details. And this one just had, mainly because of the glider mechanism at the start of the level. That's what pushed this level over the edge, I feel. That, and there is a secret hint in this level too. Now I don't think that had anything to do with its inclusion though. So originally this level didn't have any borders on the outside. They were added later on, mainly for the secret hint to be used. And the secret hint, it's the last one, so it leads to level 145. Because why not? And this section with this bug, it did used to have 2 bugs in it, but I realized that was kind of obnoxious of me, so I removed one of them. This one still has 2 though. Alright, so right here there's some invisible walls with some pretty clever uses, and I thought it was kind of cool to kind of have a little secret path that lets you go out here. Now the hint itself was moved. It used to be in the bottom right corner, but I moved it to the bottom left so it can't be seen in gameplay, like in the actual level itself. Secret password number 4, VSVA. These pop-up wall aesthetics are exactly the same as well. I just added walls on the border. And I actually like this version, so I actually might update my set, whatever set this level's in, to include this one, so, or update it to this one. So that was Stranded Quest by yours truly. At the end of the day, maybe Rag Mountain would have been better, but I think as a staff, I think we focused too hard on comparing this level with Rag Mountain, when it really came down to a later level, which we'll get to soon enough. But first, let's play Construct a Sokoban. This level is one hell of a concept, I have to say. I mean, this level performs this concept so well. You know, the first and foremost question I have to ask is, how long did it take to design this level? Mainly because it might just be me, but I'd have to think that this level required quite a bit of testing to test exactly how many combinations of chip collections, or what chips to collect, I should say, to make this level work. Basically, how many solutions does this level actually have? So far, 2 have been found, like 2 distinct chip collection patterns have been found to solve this level. Neither of which I don't know is the bold. But yeah, this is one hell of a level. This was one I didn't really pay much attention to at first during the testing phase, but once voting started and this level got into voting, and I played it in said voting, or whatever voting pack it was in, it instantly became one of my favorite levels ever. It's super unique. Like, the uniqueness of this level is just, it's awesome, and it's very well designed too. It's not oversized. It's not anything like that. It works really well. I'd have to say, out of all the levels that Marcus has in this set, this is probably my favorite of his. Just because of how well this level works. Something tells me that I didn't do this efficiently. Did I? See, this part, this upper part is a little confusing. I feel like you could stuff more blocks up here than you actually can, which is unfortunate. and I can't collect any more chips, so I might have cooked the level just based off the wrong collection pattern. Because yeah, I have nowhere else to put any blocks. Yeah, let me restart. I think I collected the wrong chips. What I meant to collect is that one. There we go. I think that's better. So the only change this level went through was a really small one, and that was making this socket nail visible from the get-go. It used to be a straightforward path to the exit, and you couldn't even see the socket nail. Which, granted, based on the chip count and the actual amount of chips in the level, you can kind of guess that you shouldn't collect all the chips, but I personally felt like that was an unnecessary thing to include in this level. But that's just me. I'm sure other staff members felt the same way. I believe I'm the one that came up with the overall fix, except I think it was moved over one tile or something like that. Like I made the initial fix, and I think Jeffrey tweaked it to make it look better. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure that's how it went. But everything else has stayed the same. The chip count stayed the same. The time limit stayed the same. However, I do want to say that this level did get considered to be untimed, but I felt like, well, I don't think it was ever really brought up to make this level untimed, and if it was, I think it was deemed unnecessary. Unnecessary to be untimed, that is. Alright. Switch to toggles so we can actually start pushing the blocks. So yeah, construct a Sokoban. There was another level with the same title in voting by Jeffrey, but I think even he said himself that this is the better version, and it pretty much is. I do think, however, Jeffrey's version has a few more ways to construct it, because this level, it doesn't really feel like you're constructing a Sokoban. You're more or less constructing a sardine can. But I guess, assuming there's more than two solutions, depending on how you collect the chips, you can turn this into some kind of Sokoban. Alright, that was Construct a Sokoban by Marcus again. Awesome level. I mean, I can't stress that enough. This, I think, was like 20. I think this is like the 20s or 30s in highest rated levels. Death and Destruction. So this is the teeth level that we went with for CCLP4. It was actually my idea to have this be the teeth level. I think it came down to seeing red and this one, I want to say, were the main candidates for the teeth level. We actually kind of considered not even having a teeth level, but I felt like it would have just ruined the tradition. Like it pretty much became a tradition to make 121 the teeth level slot. And this one definitely does a pretty good job with it. It's open-ended. Again, there's no order to this level. One too many. That's okay. The couple things changed this level. Mainly the hint was reworded. Don't collect the red keys. Instead, red keys aren't to be gotten. And the amount of cloning that is done by the teeth guarded by the red keys is more frequent than it was in the original version of the level. Basically make it go by faster. Alright, so I'll get the block out first. More block pop-up wall puzzles, except this one's pretty short. Alright, get this guy. And we have another 3-block Sokuban. This one's pretty easy though. It's not that challenging. And I don't know why, but this part of the level fascinated me. Just the traps just lead to a pop-up wall. Like, they don't lead to anything else. No chip, no nothing. Just a lone pop-up wall. I don't know why, but when I first saw this level when it was designed like 4 years ago, I was just so fascinated by that. Also fascinated at the fact that the teeth are on bombs. Oh. I don't know how ridiculous that is to get for the bolt time, but I'm pretty sure it's ridiculous. That was Death and Destruction. I'm really happy that's the 121 slot. It's definitely easier than something like Seeing Red, I feel. I mean, Seeing Red's more claustrophobic. This one's more open-ended and everything. And let's face it, we gotta keep the tradition going for Jacques, wherever he is. Alright, Jigsy. So this is a level that's in the totally fair spot, which I don't think is necessary to be in the totally fair spot. Only one block in this level has a chip under it. That would be mean for some people, but apparently in this level it's not. Yeah, this level, if it's not obvious, this level goes along with Jigsaw, which this is the more actual constructed version of the level. Oh. Pff. And the Jigsaw level is 131, which is the totally unfair spot. And I don't know, I think Jigsaw being 131 is one thing, but I don't think this necessarily needed to be 122. I think this could have been like 120, 123 or something. I mean, it's not much of a difference, I guess, but I just feel like it makes a reference that's not really necessary to make. That's just my opinion, though. I don't hate this level or anything like that. It's definitely unique, especially in conjunction with Jigsaw. It's definitely unique. I can't question that. It's also interesting that both these levels, Jigsaw and Jigsaw, they did vastly differently in voting. I think one was in the top 149 and the other wasn't, which is really interesting. I don't remember which one did what, but I want to say Jigsaw was the lower rated one. I could be wrong, but that's my guess. Okay, I don't have many more chips to get. I think I have to... Do I have to hit that twice? I don't remember. Do I have to hit that twice? I do have to hit... I do. Okay. I wasn't sure what it cloned onto. I forgot. Alright, let me get the chip down here. I guess we'll get more blocks out for the toggle button. And I guess we'll do it right there, why not? Alright, let me get these. Let me get that yellow key real quick. Oh, I can't. Gotta hit that first. And then I gotta hit that. So that's the one with the chip under it. And then get this guy right here. So the next couple levels, I'm actually going to stop after I beat this one, but the next couple levels are fairly long. I think this is the part of the set that kind of, some people might feel like this part of the set drags on, because it does have quite a few longish levels towards the start of this decade, but there's like 3 short ones in a row. And I meant to press that toggle button. Did I? No, I just have to go through here. No, I don't have to go through there. What 4 chips am I missing? There's 2 there. There's 1. Oh, okay. Okay, so now I just have to do that. That's Jigsaw by Andrew. Pretty fun level. So, that being said, we're going to end it off right here, because War on Life is not a puzzle, and boy oh boy do I have stuff to say about this one. It's one of my levels, so no harm in anything I can say, but there's quite a few things to say about this level. Mostly good, but we'll get to it when we get to it. So with that being said, I'll see you guys next time for another CCLP4 video.